Hey, it's the Doug Stanhope podcast. I don't know what day it is, but I know where I am. I'm in Calgary on day two of two shows in Calgary. And yeah, we've, you know what? A lot of people email and say they're worried about my drinking, and I guffaw at you. But yeah, the last 2 days prior to this morning, I even worried about it. But there were two fantastic days. We showed up at the Winnipeg airport. Outside of security was this bar that had every cocktail from the 30 days in the hole tin can rehab, just all classic drinks, Negronis and old fashions, and
not like on a chalkboard, but like a sign that
and
it's
on
permanent,
a menu.
permanent, yeah.
Like, this is what we specialize in. And I said, "Can I get that now?" And she looked at her watch. "Yeah, it's just after 9, so yes." And I'm like, "All right, off and running." Through the night till 2:30 in the morning, woke up, and hair of the dog turned into a second day of 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. 3 a.m. last night. And but we had a fucking blast. There's nothing to complain about in Canada. I mean, there are, and we'll get to it. There's a couple of oh fuck, I didn't pull up that email, but when we go to the commercial, I'll pull up that email. We get a couple we printed off, but there's two specific ones. I won't even I'll just tell this one because I remember it because I just fucking read it. But some guy said, "Hey, Calgary show last night." And he said, "My plan worked perfectly. I came to your show and with my brother and my cousin and my very pregnant sister or sister-in-law. And I thought maybe laughter would induce labor, and it did. She felt contractions during your show, and this morning delivered a perfectly healthy baby." And that's a very rare email for me to get. A baby was born at fucking Woodstock.
I'm listening to it. It says like, "What's the angle?"
Yeah,
like there's got it's nothing more than we had a great time, and now I'm a father.
Yeah, she went into labor during the show. I didn't see a pregnant woman because, again, I was at the apex of a 2-day hard bender. Like, that was intervention drinking, and I never had more fun than the last 2 days of that. I'm gonna try to not make it a habit because this morning when I got up and I was outside having a cigarette at breakfast, which was lunch, we had Mexican pizza here at the Laugh Stop. Is it called?
Laugh Shop.
And I called bingo, and my hand was shaking, holding my phone to my head. I go, "All right, this is probably enough. Yeah, maybe a Xanax and go back to bed." But yeah, it was a very nice email, and we also broke up a couple last night.
Oh yeah.
I was outside the bar after the show. It's great when a lot of people don't hang out. Because I like to talk to a few people.
Yeah, you worked the room last night.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner did it. I was walking around telling people I'm the new owner of the bar and offering, suggesting different appetizers they could have that probably don't even exist. But yeah, I was goofy. I was loopy from 2 days of drinking, and I actually had fun hanging out because it wasn't a glut of people like Toronto. And I did hang out and try to talk to everyone, and it's fucking 1,100 people or 1,300 people.
Oh, that was when out on the street because they wouldn't let them back in after the end of the show.
We had the merch booth inside, but anyone who went outside to smoke, waiting for me to come out and sign shit and take pictures, they wouldn't let them back in. So I said to tell them after I'm done at the merch booth, I'll come out if they're still hanging out, and a fucking ton of them did. And I was so blissed out. Is that some fucking weird, stupid term?
That could be something
that they say at Burning Man, I guess. I don't know. But it was such a great show, and the audience was so fucking good that I didn't even feel awkward at the merch booth, and I wanted to hug and take pictures with everyone. Some girl brought her abortion, her
paperwork.
receipt from her.
It was her I don't discharge paper. It was like when you
Yeah,
get
she
done with
wanted
the
me to
procedure.
autograph them.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's a first.
And then you announced it to the cheering crowd when you held up.
Yeah.
It's like you held up the Magna
Oh,
Carta.
she got a fucking round of applause at the merch booth for having an abortion.
Look at what I have.
Yeah, that's way better than a baby being born at my show. But I'm against babies, but still, it's nice. And I went out. I was so fucking happy in Toronto, like almost like I was on ecstasy. And we went back to the hotel, and Chaille's parking the car, and this fucking
It's late.
car full of douchebags. Yeah,
It's like 11:30.
Yeah.
I mean, it's early for
And
us. But yeah,
I'm standing in the parking lot smoking a cigarette while you're getting the car parked. And it's a weekend night and a carload of douchebags, like we used to be as kids, cruising. And they yelled something that at first I thought was yelling at me. So I immediately went into panic. I can't fight mode. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I wish I had a gun. What are you saying? Are you fair? Yeah, fair. And then they drove off. And then a very large girl was walking down. Then she appeared on the sidewalk. And she looked like Christine Levine. Big girl. And I realized she said that they yelled, "You're fat," at the girl. And I saw her just like the most dejected. I'm alone at night. And I choked up. Like it was one of those, it was like an ecstasy thing where your serotonin's dipping. And she looked so hurt that I'm tearing up a little bit now, recalling how awful I felt. And I said, "Hey, you're beautiful. I have a good night." I didn't know what to say, and then I wanted to chase her down. And then I'm like choking up. I'm welling up with tears.
And that's when I walked up, having not heard or seen anything. But I walk up to you, and you had your back to me. And
I was talking like this.
Turn around. You turn around. And I go, "Are you crying?" I didn't know what was. I couldn't imagine.
The first thing I did was call Christine Levine,
Yeah.
and I fucking it was. I mean, it was so fucking awful, and I reflect on how much shit I'd get for telling this story.
Yeah,
because I'm a lot of my act seems very abusive, but just. "You're fat," and then speed off, and then you want to kill the guy, and then I wanted to chase her down and bring her out for drinks, which it wouldn't have helped probably. And after the rape episode that we did with Jane Piper, I'm so terrified. There's been 3 times since then that I've had to get into an elevator with a single girl alone, and now I just
I'm waiting for someone to go on.
That whole pedophile thing I did about MySpace years ago that all started when I lived in Playa del Rey, and I was walking back from the liquor store with a 12-pack of beer on a fucking broad daylight, mid-afternoon, and there's a little league game or something where the sidewalk is the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
And I just stopped to look because some kid's at bat, and it's a fucking baseball game. And
America's pastime.
From the fucking outfield on my sidewalk, and some guy came up to me and go, "Can I help you?" And I realized he thinks I'm just fucking ogling children, and that's where that whole fucking pedophile bit started. Like, you can't just fucking look at a guy about to hit a pitch.
Yeah.
And now, since the rape episode, I'm afraid to walk into a fucking elevator with a woman alone without like prefacing it with, "Hey, I'm not going to rape you. I'm just going,
by the way, ma'am,
I'm going to 3. I have a key. I have my key card out so I don't look suspicious." It's a fucking weird thing. But yeah, that crushed me because just the look on her face.
The gal on the street.
Yeah.
In
Someone
Toronto.
just yelled, "You're fat." And it fucking broke me. It was.
I was startled. I mean, I was like, "What could have happened in 2.5 minutes?"
"You're fat."
Yeah.
And it's not like you could probably take me to task on a million jokes that you think are that offensive, but I'm never trying to be mean.
Yeah.
And it was awful. I don't know if the guy had a really good punchline. If I would have, okay, but that's kind of funny. There's some shit but it was just douchebags like the dudes from Leaving Las Vegas that fucking raped her in the shower in the hotel room. I don't know if you remember the scene. The fucking awful frat guy, stupid fucking. Every reason I hate Joe Francis from Girls Gone Wild is why I hated both from the rape podcast and the You're Fat guy.
It's not a rape podcast. Just so everyone knows, the rape episode wasn't a situation that happened. That was the previous podcast. If you're not listening to these in order.
Yeah, well, this will make them go back and listen to it. And thanks for all the good feedback. I was worried that people will go, "Oh, you're too serious." But it was, I thought, especially with this climate of whether rape jokes are ever okay, who's better to ask than a comedian that has been brutally fucking raped and in the press and out about it.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd prepared more. I didn't know that I was going to see her till that day. And
it was odd that she didn't remember his name. so maybe a little fact checking, a little due diligence on our part.
I felt like at first I was just, the story was brutal, and I'm going to default of, I got to be making jokes during this podcast, and no, I can let this go. Stop trying to force your way in to make it funny. But last night there was a couple that, again, not a lot of people in the bar afterwards.
There's a bar
great fucking bar
to the
best
comedy
bartender maybe ever in the world that we remember from 2 years ago, and we hung out with some people and chatted, and I worked the room, and I would go outside to smoke. And at one point, a girl I had been talking to with her boyfriend, I'd been sitting with them, rotating my assets, hosting, and she came out to the smoking area, and a bunch of us are smoking, and she's in the mental health field. Oh, yeah, because I was kind of at the end of my rope drinking-wise, I showed up, and they go, we're holding the show because the opener didn't show up. And I go, fuck it, I'll just do the show. I can do it UK style where you don't have an opener. They just go, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Doug Stanhope. And then you go out to a smattering of theater applause. I can do that. And they go, well, wait, there's a comic that's here for the show that we had just been talking about randomly the night before in Edmonton. And I go, oh, yeah, put him up if he wants to go up. And then they couldn't remember where he's seated. And I'm like, fuck it.
He was a paying customer for the show.
Yeah, but he's a known comic, Derek Sweet. And we'd just been talking about him the night before. And I go, fuck where he's sitting. And I just went up and introduced, ladies and gentlemen, your opening act tonight has no idea he's the opening act till right now. So please welcome Derek Sweet. And then I go into the fucking green room, which is behind the stage, which I hadn't even been in. I'm just walking into the show, and we just do this all quickly on the fly.
We're in a hotel, so you can walk from the room to the show.
Yeah, the showroom's in the hotel, and then the fucking green room's locked. So then I'm standing on the side of the stage trying to get into this fucking green room with everyone staring at me, and the poor kid trying to... And he fucking did great. For a guy who didn't know he was going on stage, he went right into it, and so they finally get a guy over to unlock the green room. It's a solitary confinement size storeroom.
Totally.
Which we're not unaccustomed to.
No.
But I go in there, and it's just storeroom shit. So as he's on stage, I just started collecting a bunch of shit like Steve Martin in The Jerk. Just random
all
shit.
All I need is a staple.
Yeah, a light up pumpkin for I guess their Halloween shows. They have fucking.
You had an item from all of the major holidays. You had a shamrock.
Yeah.
and a pumpkin.
Someone had, I don't know why, but someone left 2 Jamie Kennedy DVDs back there. Who would leave a show and not remember to bring their Jamie Kennedy CDs or DVDs? So I had those, and I came out with the armloads of shit, and I'm handing them out. I was goofy. It's nice when you can get into that headspace where you're like, all right, don't be so like heavy-handed. Let's be goofy. You've been drinking for 48 hours. And whoever got the giant, oversized, light-up pumpkin for a Halloween decoration, him and his girlfriend, I'm sitting with them, and she comes out and talks to me because she's in the mental health field, and I have a giant chunk about mental illness. And we had a great conversation over 2 cigarettes, which she wasn't even smoking. But evidently, her boyfriend was sitting alone. I heard this from the table next to him.
Yeah.
The whole time, like stroking his pumpkin and
like
seething,
clutching it.
seething like I'm banging his fucking girl in the back room. Now, I was outside smoking with a bunch of people, having a nice conversation with your girlfriend. But when she came back in, I heard about this afterwards. I did not witness it, but yeah, the table next to her said they got into a complete fucking blowout over why she was out with the comic and left him high and dry for me, and they fucking broke up loudly at the table and walked out. And that didn't make me feel good. I'd rather you had a baby at my show, and I hate babies. I don't want to break up couples. We were having a fucking cigarette, talking about retards, for God's sakes. And if you haven't heard the bit, there's context to it.
I think as a follow up, I think she got the pumpkin in the breakup.
Oh,
yeah. He gave it to her, and then that was it.
Well, yeah, good. I'm glad you got the pumpkin, lady. The ditch pigs.
That was in Edmonton.
Yeah. We get a lot of nice stuff. A lot of people gave me nice shit. Whoever gave me that plastic jug of vodka and grapefruit that I said, I can't really take this because we haven't even got through our duty-free booze we brought because we've been drinking at the bar. I can't take this on the plane, but you know what? Maybe we'll get through it. Thank you. I'm drinking that right now. That fucking weird lady, that socially awkward lady that made me that. You know, that little picture I said, you said, oh, we can put this in the bathroom where we put all the fan art. Yeah, she made it herself. The girls that were here last time that gave me the silver lame coated rubber fist trophy and then got really drunk and awkward. They were in Edmonton and they were drinking their fucking... They not only did they smuggle in their own alcohol, which I completely support, because yeah, the fucking ticket prices are high and drink prices are wicked high in Canada. So yeah, you're gonna smuggle booze in. I'm all for it. But you don't bring your own bottle of vodka and set it down on the table, and then when they come up, because they don't serve full bottles of vodka.
Yeah, no bottle service at the comic strip.
Kind of stands out. And then when they came up to them and said, you can't have that here, they argued.
Yeah, you can't take my bottle.
Yes, we can. And then they got thrown out 3 times because they came twice back to the merch booth. But they also needlepoint, a crocheted framed thing that says there's times to be dainty and there's time to be a pig. Which, if you don't know, the bit is my mother's last words. Those were my mother's last words. And that is gorgeous. But please don't fucking... Not even in a paper sack. They just brought their own bottle of fucking Grey Goose or something and sat it on their table like, that's fine. And they're shit-faced. They were shit-faced last time we met them here. They were shit-faced that time. Sloppy drunks, but I really appreciate all the nice gifts and stuff. And I've been trying my best to stay till the end of the line and do the autographs and as little picture taking as I have to, because I think a lot of times people think they have to get a picture because they see people in the front of the line and they're taking pictures and they go, I guess this is what we're supposed to do. If you don't want a picture, you're probably never going to look at it. So don't, and just hug me. If I had fucking Ebola virus, tens of thousands of people would be dead by now in Canada. Just from
contact.
Yeah. From the 1,000 that I've hugged, that you hug later. And otherwise, fantastic. From the beginning, Montreal, we started, always the best audiences in Canada. Though, other than the London show where I was fucked, not like drunk fucked, I'd started doing that rape podcast, the rape episode, and I was in it in the green room, and then had to go straight from that into my set, and I was so into talking to her about that I kind of fucked you over, but you weren't a great audience either, so fuck you.
Oh yeah, that's the one where we had the guy.
Yeah. You tell that story, because I walked out and there's a dude in two like leg braces, like boots, like ski boots, that kind of broken leg. It's not even cast.
Like his feet were elevated. It wasn't like he had two casts, but then he also had this extension thing to keep his legs up.
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair.
He's fucked up.
So I'm riffing on him, and then from the back, I see some dude waving a cane.
No, it's a crutch.
Crutch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy's in a fucking wheelchair with two broken legs. I can't.
And in the light, you can see him.
Yeah.
You're doing a whole thing, a little bit of crowd.
And then I see one guy waving his Tiny Tim crutch. And so I flicked him some shit, but he kept going on, and I couldn't really hear him because it's a huge room.
You just see a crutch. You don't see who's holding the crutch.
And he's yelling some dumb shit, but you talk to him.
Well, he kept yelling up to you, and it wasn't like just a peppering of little comments. He was like completing sentences that all you could hear was the Charlie Brown's teacher like mumbling, right? So I went up to him finally, and I said, "That's enough." And I mean, it doesn't say security on my plaid jacket, but he knows I'm with the show. And he goes, "No, that's okay. I'm a comic. You got to razz him once in a while."
Yeah, he's like an old dude.
Like an old dude.
Yeah.
And he had a, broken leg.
55, 60.
Yeah. And I said, "No, that's it. That's not going to continue, or you're going to be gone. You're going to go out the door." Yeah. And he goes, "Oh, okay, I get it. But I understand. I'm a comic." And that just never makes sense to me. And then he continued a little bit, but not enough that like he slowed down, right? And then he leaves, and then he goes out and he starts annoying the opener. And then he comes back in, he's talking loud voice everywhere he goes, right? And at the end of the night, he behaved enough that he could stay. But he was telling me he opened for Martin Short, that he was on the Tonight Show or something. And I'm like, "What? You're lying."
And there's other comics around that
never heard of him.
Nobody knows him. Someone emailed me about they were in the bathroom or tweeted at me. They were in the bathroom with him when he was trying to give his resume. And but yeah, I'm a comic. No, I'm heckling right because I was on the Tonight Show.
He was, as he walked, he had a comment. It was after the show. He kind of hobbled across the room. He would make comments to anyone and everyone coming at him. He would say something to that person, to the next one. And I'm like, Jesus. And I'm settling with the owner of the club. And he just, like from 8 feet away, starts talking to me as I'm in a conversation with this guy about settlement. It's just 3 people in the room. And the 2 people who are involved in a conversation, this guy just starts saying, "Insults. How many did you get tonight? I'll pay you for every one." I looked at the guy that I'm talking to. I go, "Is he talking to me or you?" Because I don't even know how to respond.
Insults. How many did you get?
How many did you get?
I'll pay for everyone.
And I go,
that doesn't make sense.
I'm talking to someone here, and I have no idea what you're saying.
There's a lot of fucking weird people in that show. Because I didn't even remember this till later. I went up, again, I'm in a complete different mindset, and that's my fault. I wanted to get that podcast out with Jane Piper because I know she has a great story, and I know she has her own outlook on her experience, and I have that night to do it. And I know if I wait till after the show, I'm going to be too fucked up, and she's going to be too drunk. So I wanted to get the meat of it out before the show. So I was in a completely different mindset. And I went out. There was a guy in the front row that was wearing some kind of fucking Zumba pants or something. Like
Zumba?
I don't know. He had kind of like sweatpantsy things on, but his phone was sticking out with of his pocket. It was some front weird pocket. It was almost like he was wearing an apron. I don't know. He's wearing black, and I couldn't tell. But I can tell the phone is sticking out with the camera lens looking right at me, front row center. Oh. And I snapped. I just went into complete paranoia. And I'm like, all right, stop with the filming. I get it. I see you're not hiding that. And he wasn't filming at all. It's just fucking whatever he's wearing. The phone didn't fit. And I was completely wrong, and I looked like a wicked douchebag. And meanwhile, in the back of the room, you have some guy that's just standing there flipping you off. Is that how it works?
Yeah, he was 2 rows back, but standing next to the like a pillar, so he wasn't blocking anyone's view, and it was fine. I don't like people standing at a sit down show, but so he saw me go up to the other guy and tell him, "Quiet, that's it, you're done," and then. Right after that, I didn't see this. I'm sitting in the back of the room.
When you told the weird
the guy
fake
with the
comic with the crutch.
Tiny Tim.
You told him to shut up.
Yeah. So then right after that, the other guy sitting 2 rows back was saying a couple things to the stage. And it was, once again, I can't hear you. So if you want to say something, you got to be up here, get better seats next time, you know? Yeah. And one of security went up to the guy and said, hey, you got to keep quiet. Well, he thought I sicked security on him. So right after he started fuming, and he kept looking back at me when I'm now at the merch booth with my back against the wall, sitting on a stool, and he's flipping me off, like looking at me, pointing at me, and just flipping me the bird. And I look at Jane, I go, who's that to? Because there's no one behind us. It's just you and me sitting here, and I'm not from here. And finally, the security went up to him again and said, hey, you gotta go outside. And I'm like, what the fuck? Something's going down.
Yeah.
Security came over and they said, yeah, we told him, he's got to be quiet or something. And then that guy keeps turning around and looking at me. And I go, well, whatever. I'm just going to ignore it. And then he comes over and I go, oh, fuck.
There you go.
I'm not selling shirts right now. So there's only one reason he's coming my way. And I thought my fucking head's going to go through this wall behind us. And he's like a big guy. And he comes up and he tells me, what's your fucking problem? Putting these guys on me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, no, telling me to be quiet? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a comedy show, but I didn't do that. But I'm like, what the fuck it's just crazy.
Yeah, you're pinned against the wall with some fucking drunk monster.
And he's got these big old ham hands. And his name's Arch. It ended up being, oh, sorry about that.
Sorry. He made good?
Yeah, he made good. But I mean, I got nowhere to go. I got to make good.
Yeah, I alluded to this in the Jane Piper podcast about a rape. Like how long did that play over in your head?
Yeah,
and I alluded to anytime where I'm in a violent situation that could get violent, and I know I can't fight, but I'll ruminate for fucking days and years about how I could have handled it, or how I could go back and find him and kill him, and I didn't have a good example. And then afterwards, of course, you go, oh, fuck, those 2 dudes in that parking lot in Pensacola.
And we were in that.
Yeah, they asked for like a cigarette or $1, and you said no, and then the guy goes, "Oh fuck! What you don't fucking look at me? You think you're fucking better than me? I'll fucking kick the shit out of you right now." And yeah, that was an example of, and that we weren't even violently assaulted or raped, but just the threat of it. I still, if I think about that, I think of all the things I could have done. I could have started the car and run him over. Things I probably shouldn't have done, but I wanted to.
You mean after you finished making the cocktail that you were making when
I was in the van making a
guys.
cocktail. They didn't even see me. And I'm looking around for anything I could use as a weapon in the car. I had a vodka bottle, but I'm not going to waste that. And
plastic.
I got a plastic jug. Thump him over the head, Three Stooges style.
Oh, yeah, I was shaking on that one when we got back to the venue. Because it was just a half a block. It was the only place to park. When we just walking over there, I got like queasy thinking about like those guys. They thought I was.
Oh yeah, it was complete schoolyard bullying. Yeah, go ahead. You better fucking walk away. Fucking keep walking, faggot, kind of thing.
You know what? It started
because you had to walk away. There's nothing we could do. We're in a dark fucking parking lot in a closed strip mall.
The one guy. They were going to their car, which was kind of, I think they ran out of gas or something. They said they needed some money. And I go, sorry, man, I'm going to work right now. So I don't have any change or anything. And then he goes, oh, hey, man, can I work with you? I was.
I need a job.
I need a job. Can I work? I go, actually, no, man. I'm working right over there. I got to go. He's like, yeah, don't fucking look at me.
Yeah, whatever it was, if you didn't hand him cash, it was going to be a bullying situation.
Well, if I handed him a little cash, he was going to take all of it.
Anyway, I thought about that after. There's a million things. I would love to do the Jane Piper podcast over because afterwards I had a million more questions and if I had time to prepare. Other than, didn't even know you lived here now. Hey, come to the show. Let's grab some dinner. Fuck, you want a podcast? We got to cram this in. Anyway, not that London was all bad.
But here's another
that venue will probably not be open for me to decline working there again. And they're not bad people, but you can tell they're on their fucking wobbly legs of the death knell of out of business. They don't take credit cards. Like this is I guess if you filled that place, it could probably fill fucking 1,000 people.
It's upstairs,
because they
downstairs.
had the balcony that they had closed off. And so some dude came in and you don't take credit cards, and he had driven from somewhere else.
Him and his girl.
Yeah, he came from Detroit. They have no ATM. They don't take credit cards. So Chaille fucking lends him $80 in cash so they fucking can drink.
Well, I took his last 40 at the merch booth.
All right.
And then he goes to get a drink for him and his gal, and he came back and he goes, "Is there ATM?" I go, "It's right over there." And the ATM only takes ones with chips on them, the credit cards with a chip, which in America it's not mandatory yet. Up here, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
we're the only people who don't have chips or the metric system.
So he came up and he said, "They don't take credit cards here." I go, "That's really?" And he said, "Yeah, I don't."
It was a fucking huge venue.
Yeah. So I gave him his 40 back, and then I said, "Wait a minute, you don't have any Canadian money at all?" Because he paid in American, so I gave him another 40, and then he said he paid me back.
I didn't even know about that story till I got an email. Hey, Chaille gave me $80 to drink on because I didn't have cash at the merch booth. I assume he's expecting me to pay him back, but I don't know how to. And then he PayPal'd you for the fucking money.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
Well, I don't want to tell you because I thought you'd give me shit.
Really?
Is that how we do it at the merch? Merch and mercantile?
No, I love that story because most people think you're a prick because you have a weird face that betrays the nice guy inside you. So a lot of people, when they first meet you, why does that guy doesn't like me? No, that's just how his face works. You just have a weird. I hated you when I first met you. A lot of people hated you. They just because you have an awkward tone when you talk to folks. Hey, listen, I'm gonna go have a smoke. This podcast is brought to you by Sabra Hummus. You know, I'm a fan of the Sabra Hummus, and I talk about it here and again just because I give them a promotion that they never asked for and probably don't want. But at the fucking airport, was that Windsor? I mean, Windsor, Winnipeg?
Yeah.
It was Winnipeg.
Yeah.
It was because it was outside of security was the place that had all the cool cocktails. So after my tequila sunrise and my whiskey sour and I think maybe an old fashioned, I'm not sure.
Did you have a Negroni?
No,
that was the first place we could have gotten.
No, they had Negronis, and I go, well, if they have them here, they'll probably have them inside. Anyway, I go through security, and now I'm just a couple drinks lit up after probably still being drunk from the night before, and this wicked cunt there, and I'm sure they don't call him TSA here, but airport security. Sir, is this yours? Come with me. My computer, they're going to swab it. But, like, angry looking, like she just found heroin for sure.
Yeah.
But you can tell she's just an awful person. And I go, wow, is that her normal demeanor to the other TSA people? And they're fucking laughing. You know she's so hated because they're, like, pursing their lips, trying not to laugh out loud. And her name was Zelia. I go, are you having a bad day, Zelia? I'm like, all personality, because I just had 2 morning cocktails. And then I start singing, Zelia, you're breaking my heart. And she looked at me like stone cold. That's not how you pronounce it. It's Zelia. And I go, Yeah, but it's still a good song. She goes, all right, it's a good song. I broke her down. I finally fucking made her laugh. And everyone back there was just fucking, it was a good comedy moment. They never happen on stage. The best comedy moments happen when you're in a perfect mood to fuck with someone who's otherwise miserable and finally break them to make them laugh. And Zelia, get back to the sponsorship. That's how I saw she was miserable. That's what started it. Before she fucked with me with my laptop, swabbing it 16 different fucking times to see if it fucking registers for child porn. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. And the person before me, she had thrown out their Sabra hummus. And I go, why would you throw out Sabra hummus? It's a beautiful hummus. And I told her, that's right. I told her we worked for the Sabra Corporation.
I had just been done being frisked or patted down.
Yeah, random. You were a random check.
Random check. And I came back over to where you're at, and we both got the coats on. And yeah, it's like we were reps for Sabra.
Yeah, we said we work for Sabra hummus. And why would you throw away a perfectly good hummus like that? Unless it's the garlic flavor, which we don't even like. And then she started agreeing she likes Sabra hummus, but it's a Sabra hummus, people. If you're in Canada, fight for your right for Sabra, because I go, that's not a liquid. Well, creams, gels,
Lotions.
yeah, lotion. Sabra fucking lotion. What are you fucking gonna pomade your hair with that? Come on, that's a fucking hummus. Hummus is its actual own identity. It's not a gel. It's a hummus. It's not a cream or a lotion. It's a hummus.
Well, we came up, because we work for Sabra Hummus, we came up with the new pitch. Totally TSA approved. Sabra Hummus roll-on.
Roll-on.
Yep.
Sabra hummus, if you come out with a roll-on.
We got to.
I don't, that would be a gel maybe. I don't, listen, we're going to take a break. We're going to go meet with the Canadian government, have a sit down with whatever their TSA is, and talk about trying to get a Sabra roll-on so people can enjoy a corporate hummus while they fly. We'll be back after that message. Hey, this is Doug Stanhope for Sabra Hummus. Did you notice that Sabra had a giant recall for an outbreak of listeria? Did that queer you off of Sabra Hummus? Then you're a fucking cunt. You're a pussy. Sabra Hummus is better than any other store brand hummus without listeria. I'd rather eat straight listeria than stray from my branding of Sabra Hummus. I would eat Sabra Hummus if there was a curdled pile of baby shit in the middle, which is actually better than the garlic flavor. Or the pine nut. What are you fucking thinking with the pine nuts? Hey, Listeria Sabra. Better than pine nut or garlic. But the fucking one with the olive is great. I can't get it at my store. So take a hint from someone who knows.
Hi, I'm Amy Bing Bong Butter Cheeks Bingaman, and I eat listeria and dream about hummus even being part of it. I'll eat.
All right, forget it.
I'll eat straight malaria from the anus of a dead dingo, just on the hopes it tastes as good as Sabra hummus. So listeria it up, kids. That's what I was born to do.
All right, we're back. I was just riffing a lot of unnecessary things. I'm sure when I go back and listen to the tape, if I'm so brave, last night. But I forget to tell you a lot, and I hope I tell you a lot on the podcast. You, my audience, get crushing reviews. It's too bad you can't review audiences on Yelp because almost every club we play, the staff raves about you guys Because I know you're a bunch of weird fucks and a lot of drunks have to be removed. But other than that, you drink the place out of one place as it was a Winnipeg. Winnipeg, where I'm going to the stage. Hey, if you could remind them we're out of cold beer. This happened last time too, but your fucking people drink so much. By the time I got on stage, they were already out of cold beer. You had to have warm beer. You drink like fucking maniacs. Yeah, a lot of you yell and you're fucked up, but we get through that. But you drink a shitload and you tip well, and the staff is always happy, except for those two dudes every show, or one lady or whatever.
Yeah, they're listen, everything relates to money. The staff, when they're at the end of the shift, no matter how much they got their hat handed to them behind the bar, if they're counting their tips, and we walk by and they go, "Man, thanks so much for coming, guys." You know. That
fucking Toronto, the manager came up to me like giddy with a calculator of
the bar ring,
the bar sales.
Yeah.
Did you see this? I don't know what normal bar sales are, and I said, "Is that a record?" He goes, "Jim Jeffries is the only one," and he went, which was almost double, but not quite. And he went, "Oh, wait, no, he did 2 shows." Yeah. All right. So I got a fucking record.
If you doubled yours, it would have been more than his 2 shows. Yeah.
And you love that. You love when people, Jesus, your crowd. So take the compliment, people. You're a fucking great audience everywhere I go. Even if you ruin the show and wave a crutch at me and, so thanks. Thank you for that. I got to film this special. This material can go nowhere else. I've toured why aren't you playing in the States? Because I got to get this special out. So Canada and the UK have not heard it. And I hope to film this at some point before the end of the year. Minneapolis is the only city I haven't worked, because there was some issues with the place that I like to play where they're trying to downgrade the deal. Like, the opposite of every fucking other club going, "Oh, I can't believe how much fucking money we made from your drunken fans." And they're like trying to make the deal worse. I need to find a place in Minneapolis that's good to film this. So I think I'm going to actually have to fly there and go on a booze cruise to find the good venue like Dante's in Portland where I filmed last time. I want to do it small. I don't want to do theater.
So what size do you think?
The size of Dante's. What's that hold?
I think we did like 100 and something for that special.
We had to limit it because you had to have space for
the cameras and all the gear. So, but
I have to see the room.
Yeah.
You can't just go, how many people does it hold? Because if it doesn't look right, if it doesn't have the right feel, before turning the gun on himself, I would have never filmed in that fucking place, and I let Hennigan decide.
Wasn't that
There's nothing
factory?
wrong with it, but it's not where you want to film. It's a giant ceiling. Yeah, it was like an IKEA that had been gutted and made into a bar of just minimalistic, huge stage. Everyone's way too far away.
Laughter's just gone.
So, if you're a comic and you think you know a great, small, dingy place but has a good stage to film, shoot me an email. Otherwise, I'll fly out there and we'll go get drunk for a weekend.
We'll probably fly out there anyway.
I want to do this as soon as possible.
But you want to actually visit the site to actually see it.
Yeah, and we have another idea. I want to film in Reno because Reno's so awful. Every time I play there, it's hardly anyone there. That I have no draw, but that would be a really tiny place, and I want to do that kind of Neil Hamburger-esque. I mean, there's a theme to that, but I won't get into that.
Yeah. Well, I've only got 2 more working days for the year. Tonight's show in Vancouver.
Yeah, we have one more show tonight in Calgary.
Then I'm off for the rest of the year.
I go to the UK and maybe Europe. I don't know. I guess there's so much shit. I'm just day to day. I know as soon as I get back, I got to do the fucking book before September 2nd is my deadline. Then September, maybe we fuck off. Maybe I do some other dates and But again, I got to keep doing this set till I get it on a special, and then I can't wait to not be telling these jokes anymore. If you're coming up from Seattle to Vancouver because you were at the Seattle show, you're going to see the same shit I did in Seattle. I've been working on it for fucking God knows how long. And Canada, yeah, I would have loved to film here, but we're waiting for deals to fall into place. There's a lot of shit that goes with it. But this has been a blast. Montreal, we flew up. And we flew first class because a lot of times if you check, first class isn't that much more. I could have got bumped up on my own, but I wanted to sit with my Chaille, and he's not diamond status.
Not even
and
gold.
It was so minimal to bump up to first. So the point is we're shit-faced when we get to Canada. This time, no problems. We're dressed absolutely ridiculously. We're the first people off the plane. And, we just breezed right through, goofing on the customs people, and they were goofing right back. I expected every problem. I always have them, whether it's work permit or your bag tested fucking positive for a thing. And this time, nothing.
Nothing.
And we were fucking drunk as skunks. We had so much fun on that plane ride because I'm wearing a white sport coat with a fake polyester pink carnation. Chaille always looks better than me. We were the flight attendants. They kept. What's with the outfits?
In first class,
Yeah.
you have one gal that is your gal. I mean, and then when she knows we're drinking, we get kind of talky with her.
Yeah, we were light for the party. We had fucking lampshades on our heads and pink carnations on our fucking thrift store white sport coat. I don't even know which coat you were wearing, but they go, "What's with the outfits?" And I said, "Oh, well, we just got gay married." And they're like, "Oh, really? Well, congratulations." And then I said,
She accepted that really quick, by the way.
"Yeah." And I said, "Oh no, we just did it for tax purposes. We're not into that shit." And then then I said, "But we still have to consummate it. By law, we have to consummate it. That's why we're going to Montreal." And then they started getting weirded out. And then I'm several cocktails and a Xanax in, and I remember telling her we're having to flip a coin to see who's going to be bottom, and that's when I don't know that I got shut off, but
she walked away at that point.
I fell asleep anyway. If the
show was over.
Yeah, if you can't not serve me anymore, I quit.
I'm passing out.
Yeah, I'm putting this eye mask means I don't need any more anyway.
You did have your eye mask on with your glasses on over it.
Yes.
That was just kind of an indication.
Yeah, we were booby knockered on that plane. I don't. A couple podcasts ago, I said that I'm running out of synonyms for drunk writing the book, and I asked you to, hey, if you send in your good ones, I'll try to put some fun old school terms for being drunk in the. And of course, who steps up? Every fucking person from the UK giving me I can't put that in a book. It's gonna sound like Brian Hennigan Ghost wrote the thing for me. Yeah, I was tinky whistled the whole. I can't use that. I appreciate reading them, and I'm amused, but there's no way I can put those in the book. I was dongle wackied or fucking I don't know. You know, a million. But it's all the UK guys have fucking 80,000 words for drunk that I can't use. And everyone in the US, have you used shit-faced? Yes, that's the one I said. I'm burned through the shit-faced and hammered. So, but I still appreciate it.
They're funny.
Montreal had I got off stage and we're working with Frank, who's great. But I got off stage and there's like 30 fucking people in the green room.
There's a theater. So we were downstairs. There's a big area, common area.
The green room, dressing rooms. They're like theater dressing rooms. There's like 3 different rooms, and each one of them is an overloaded fucking party. Like I'm a rap act, and like, all right, give me. I'm literally. I found Frank's girlfriend in one room, just with one other dude, and I just ran in and I hid with them. I go, keep going with your conversation. I'm just trying to fucking decompress after the show. And there's a million people and then a million people. But one of them was a squirrely little kid, and And he goes, I don't normally do this, but here's my CD. I don't know if he's a fucking musician or who. Turns out he was a comic that has actually opened for me before. I just don't remember. I'm sorry. You can't live this kind of lifestyle and remember everything or everyone. But he gave us a CD, and we listened to it on the road. It's
the whole thing.
Brilliant comic. As his name is David Heti, Heti, and the name of the album was I Was Okay or It Was Okay. But yeah, Google search David Heti, Heti, and we laughed our fucking balls off in the car at that. And not only that, afterwards reviewed it to each other like we just walked out of a movie theater. What was your favorite part?
Siskel and Ebert.
Do you think Jesus? I'm not even going to try to do the jokes because I don't want to give them away and ruin the integrity by doing them poorly. But yeah, pick that up because that guy was funny. Thanks for all the stolen Bibles. People have been stealing hotel Bibles on their own and giving them to us that we still sell at the merch booth. I don't know if that's played out, but it's still funny to me.
They're still selling.
And people enjoy them. They enjoy this stolen Bibles. I've come up with other merch ideas that are only funny to me, and there's no this is when I pitched to the Impractical Jokers because I fucking love that show, and they've become friends. And sometimes when we get shit-faced around the house, we'll day drunk call them up and tell them all these funny ideas for pranks. But the one I wanted, I came up with the idea, but there's no way to sell it because it's is targets for like shooting ranges. If you're a gun nut, which you're probably not, and you target shoot, but targets that are like really offensive, like just a businessman scrambling for cover with his briefcase,
like a silhouette.
Yeah. Just like a regular target that you'd shoot at a shooting range would be a blank silhouette with the bullseyes here and there. So a mother ducking for cover, like school shooter, mass killer targets.
Under a desk?
Yeah, a mother's trying to clutch her baby and hold it away. The target is just the little part of the baby's head that's between her arms as she runs in fear. I thought that was a great Impractical Jokers thing where you're teaching lessons at a shooting range, and new people come in.
And the targets turn around.
Yeah, and it's Bambi or
that.
fucking it's a big doe-eyed Bambi, sad looking,
big like the big teary-eyed seal.
Yeah, I would love to sell those at the merch booth. If you can make those, that's just an idea. If you email me and you want to make those, and I approve you, I will pitch your fucking targets. I'll go, hey, this is a funny idea this guy came up with that's selling them, and I will sponsor you for making my idea happen because I just want to see it happen in real life. I don't know what else we have to talk about. We have one email. I'm going to break one more time because this fucking email has to be dealt with. Mace Galoni opened in Toronto. He's very funny. See him. We've had great openers on this. I don't have all your names written down, but so yeah, we're trying to get this show to an hour for Netflix, and it's weird that I did an hour in one club where I felt like I just ripped them off. I felt so bad because the crowd, that was Ottawa,
the Babylon,
Ottawa, and a great bar for if you get dumped and you want to drink yourself into a coma, but not good for comedy. Like a 6-inch stage and all standing and 110 degrees. And I'm trying to, except for there's a few standing rooms that I enjoyed doing, and people don't seem to mind. Red 7 in Austin, it always seemed like all right, but I'm trying to get rid of the standing shows.
Red 7 is also open air.
Oh yeah, it's outside. You can smoke. There's a lot of benefits, But for the most part, yeah, I won't be doing that place in Ottawa again. Please support them if you're a destitute alcoholic like myself. But I can't do comedy there again. We got to find a bigger venue that has a proper stage and air conditioning. And we'll be right back. I got to pull up this email as if there's someone I got to fucking yell at. All right, please hold. Of the Underpants universe. Sex! Keep your balls off your legs and such.
Sex underwear. Don't have sweaty balls.
Was that good? I don't know. Okay, I let me quickly expand on that the 1 hour dilemma. When you're trying to get your set down to an hour, and I know what I'm doing on stage will not be exactly what I say on the special because you have to be in the moment. So, but I still think like an hour 10 is about the perfect time, and it's a running joke every time I'm on the road with Chaille. I'm going to try to keep it like an hour 10 tonight. And it's always a fucking hour 20, hour 30, hour 40. And I really think those shows get boring. You can feel the lag in people. And, the one night where I did an hour and I felt like, first of all, that was the standing show in Ottawa. And it was so hot. Like, people are pouring sweat and they're an inch from your face because you're on a stage that's not a foot high. And I'm a short man, so at best I'm at eye level watching people that are visibly knees failing because it's so hot. So when I got to an hour, I felt like I got to do more, and people don't. I can't do a marathon show, and a few people yelled out, "It's too hot." But I still felt like this is what I should be doing. You should leave them wanting more. But the problem is a lot of my bits are so long that you feel like because one topic might be 20 minutes long, that you didn't do enough. And I don't know if you agree with me out there that a fucking hour and fucking 30 minutes is too goddamn long in good conditions. When you're seated in air conditioning, it still feels like it's too long, especially when you have, some guy doing 15 minutes up front. Then it just seems like too much. But I somehow, because I've done it so long, doing extended sets, what I feel are sets that are too long. Do you agree? Do you expect a fucking hour and a half? Are people happy when I go short for me and do an hour 5? Is that okay? I don't know. I'm trying to, but
are you posing a question to your listeners?
I'm posing a question to my listeners. Are there people out there? Because no one would ever bitch that it was too long unless you asked them to. So I'm asking you, bitch, if you think the fucking hour 20 is all right, you could cut it back. I want you to validate what I think, whether I can do it or not. Even when I try to do short sets, I still fail, except for that one night where we're all gonna fucking die in this.
Well, it was
sauna.
120 degrees, 400 people in there, and I think you still got in all the material. You just kind of rushed it.
I was missing tags, and everyone was so physically abused that generally there's going to be 10 or 15 minutes I have to spend just dealing with the drunken 2 guys at every show that are shitheads, or one lady, whatever, just with a back and forth. Mm-hmm. And I always try to riff on anything new to make the rest of it feel fresh. So, that's what I was trying to get into. Edmonton, that was such a surreal, because it's in that mall.
The West Edmonton Mall.
The biggest mall in North America. It takes you 20 minutes just to walk from one end to the other, and we didn't. It's still a mall.
There's an amusement park, a water park with a seal act, There is a ice skating rink. I went down to that. And every shop you can imagine. A Gap next to Tiffany and Company.
Again, that was day 2 of the 2-day bender, where the hotel bar, which is I never saw more than 2 customers in there. It was great, again, because after the show, there was a bunch of comics, very fucking cool crowd in Edmonton, and a bunch of local comics. And I go to the hotel bar because we'll own the place. I told everyone else, I'm going to drink at the Spaghetti Factory. It's right across the fucking hall in the mall. Voted America's number 1, North America's number 1 bar by Bar and Restaurant Magazine as the best bar in North.
You guys are lucky. It's right here. We'll see you there after the show.
And evidently a bunch of people bought it because someone who went over there said there was a bunch of people lined up waiting for me. You didn't know I was kidding that the old spaghetti factory.
Good spaghetti, though.
Well, in line, I'm doing pictures after the show, and I was taking a photograph. I won't even describe them in case they're possible listeners, but it was the dude's daughter. Can I get a picture? She just turned 18. Now I'm describing them. Maybe this is good for you personally, but I'm just in complete, fight or flight mode. I'm signing things and shaking someone's hand while pretending to listen to a third person's conversation while someone's yelling, and those 2 girls are being thrown out for the 3rd time for drinking their own bottle and keep coming. And I just go right into the pose, and she puts her arm around me, and it's the worst fucking body odor, cat piss, skunk, thick body odor. And the guy's taking the picture, and this is my daughter. I've seen you every time. She finally turned 18, and I'm just staring at the camera. I'm not even looking at the girl that I'm posing with. And I'm like, how old are you? He didn't look like he could have an 18-year-old daughter. Meanwhile, this fucking stench is so bad. And I almost said something, and I go, I don't know if I could make that funny, and it might hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
And they leave. And then I start talking to the comics, and the people clear out of and I go, oh my God, I can still smell that. And I've done that before where I think someone stinks so horrifically, but it's me the whole time.
Yeah.
And so I started smelling myself because I can still smell it. She had her armpit right on my sport coat. And it was this stink because I smelled that shoulder.
Your shoulder nested into her armpit.
Yeah. For the picture. And to make sure it's not me, I smelled the rest of me. I smelled the other shoulder. And that one shoulder stunk so bad. And I'm making other people smell it and then smell my good shoulder. So I want you to know this isn't me. All the comics we're hanging around with at that hotel bar that we disappeared to. And it stunk till the next day. Brad, thank you, Brad Kuhnmuth, who's a fucking cool guy and always hooks us up. He drove us from Edmonton down to Calgary. Still fucking stunk. He had Febreze in his car. I Febrezed my jacket, and then it smelled like you Febrezed a dead skunk. The skunk is still coming through. Fucking 2 days for that stink to leave me. And I don't know if maybe is it just nervous sweat because she's meeting a guy and she's only 18 and thinks maybe I'm famous. But it was fucking horrible.
You could taste it. That's how much.
Well,
yeah.
Chaille's known. You're known for your hair trigger gag reflex, and you were, gagging.
If you would have shown me my 600-pound life at the same time, one of those photos, yeah, that would have done it.
And thanks for all the people who have been sending the photos to Chaille. It disrupts his day. And thank you everyone for the sent out emails for the gay baby calendar for Brendan Walsh.
Well crafted.
Very well crafted. You took direction. You didn't make him over the top or obviously see-through stupid. And I was very amazed. And I talked to Brendan Walsh about other ways you can ramp up that gay baby calendar gag. And we realized it's June.
No one does
Not a
it.
good time to be selling calendars or getting attention for calendars. So hopefully he does this again in December.
But no, September, October, you can start to ramp up.
Well,
because
I
they're
think
good gifts for
if you,
Christmas.
a couple ideas. If you do that on Christmas Eve in regular stores when people are last minute stocking stuffer shopping, yeah, we get some ideas.
Stay tuned.
John Ronson, read this book, So You've Been Publicly Shamed. I was up to page 188 and then brought it into Subway to read while I was eating my fucking sandwich, and I left it. So I ordered another copy. But yeah, I'm deep enough in. I can completely, if you're following the whole Rachel Doziel or however you say her name, the fake black lady from the NAACP, who that just happened while I'm reading it. It's all about people like her, people who have been publicly shamed outwardly and how it destroys their life. It made me feel bad for that whole Troy Home thing we did. Not that bad, but a little bit bad, because that was just the killer termites. That's just my people, much less a nation's worth of people just shitting it on you on the Twitter. Hey, it's Chaille has this sax that's his ringtone, and it just went off, perfectly timed as a plug. Yeah, pick up that John Ronson book, So You've Been Publicly Shamed. It's fucking brilliant reading. And I think one more thing. The dude, your name is Richard Asimov. He was in the line at the merch booth, which I hate being in. I put on my magic face and I smile, but I hate taking pictures because I know how fucking ugly I am, and that's all I can think of. And but this guy, Richard Asimov, came up to me and he goes, I'm going to give you $100 to marry you on Facebook. And I have no idea what he's talking about. So I smile, and Chaille takes his fucking $100, and I know Chaille will figure out what the fuck he's talking about. But yeah, you give me $100 at the merch booth, I'll go, yeah, give it to Chaille. I am not allowed to touch money. I'm too drunk. And then I realized he wanted me to change my Facebook status to I'm married to him or whatever, and I don't know how to even use it. And the only reason I know about how that works is because bingo is my status says I'm in a relationship with Amy Bingaman. That's the only way I can find her Facebook. When she tells me to check her Facebook for some pictures she put up, I have to go to my Facebook and click on her link, or otherwise I can't find her. So, yeah, I don't know how to marry you. I'm not ditching my girlfriend because that's how I find her, but Chaille will figure out how to work my Facebook. Maybe I'll make you a grandparent or something. We don't know how to do it quite yet. But, yeah, we'll do that, or we'll send you a fucking $100 back. I don't know. But
probably the first part.
Probably the first part. I like that. Let's get to the closing email. Here we go, people. If you listened to the podcast a few weeks ago with Chad Shank, where we talked about what horrible, evil children we were, and Joby, someone wrote, subject, nigger knocking? There's not much you're above, he says. Quotes, parentheses, which is part of your charm, but I didn't think you were ignorant enough to sit around laughing at someone saying nigger. That's fucked up. I've spent money on your merch and talked you up for years, but that's too stupid in a not funny way. Could you address this on your next podcast? I'd like to hear your take on it before my friends and I write you off. Start by saying, we wrote you off during this fucking email. You've been fucking written off, you and your friends, like you sit around in some fucking Oprah's book club, star chamber judges deciding who you're going to communally give the thumbs down to. Me and my friends, oh, you have so much fucking clout. If you listen to that podcast, it's us talking about what horrible pieces of shit we were as children and teenagers that you look back and go, how fucked up were we? We weren't laughing. Like, nigger knocking, that's a great new word I'm going to put into the act. It's just like something kids called it. Yes, we were laughing at how fucking awful we were. You stupid cunt that's been fucking written off. Do you realize the other shit we were talking about? How terrible we were? We were setting shit on fire. We were burning things down out of boredom. We were chucking fucking awful things in people's pools. Fucking being mean. We were fucking murdering small animals. We were fucking shooting fucking birds with BB guns because we had to do something while we were skipping school. I had fucking torture farms for gypsy moth caterpillars, and you focus on, some kids called it nigger knocking. How about some fucking outrage about the awful shit we did you're gonna fucking write me off? I don't need you. I can dismiss fan. You're not allowed to even be my fan, Jack Jameson. And your friends, I don't believe that they're even on the same page with you. The friends that you're gonna get together with when you decide if you're gonna write me off at that your little fucking tree fort that you sit in. Fuck you. You know what? I'll find your fucking tree fort and I'm gonna nigger knock. You're gonna fucking run out and go, who was that?
Someone keep knocking.
No girls allowed, spelled Gurlz, and you're gonna go, who was that? That was me nigger knocking, you fucking loser. How about that? I'm glad I could close on some hate, and I'm gonna go back to the best country in the goddamn world, which is Canada, and I'm gonna go back to a positive attitude. And you know what? Fuck you again, and eat a loaf of shit. Please do that. I don't fucking write you off. It's like, and I'll do a disservice to a dead comic who is great, Mike DiStefano. No, I don't do that kind of comedy. I boo you. So yes, in a toast to the late great Mike DiStefano, Jack Jameson, I boo you. And now I'm gonna play a good mood song, my favorite song from my favorite girl in the world, Nat Tenya and Molotov Jukebox. Let's play Double Dare. Thank you.
Our way home under a dirty early sky. Do what couples do, argue and screw, or screw and argue. But I think it'd be different with you. He points over there. He wants to dare me, double dare me, I go anywhere. He points over there. He wants to dare me, double dare me, I go anywhere with him. To that ridiculous club with your friend. Last time we went, we said never ever again to getting our wallets straight. And I suggested the strip club, for the neon naked girls and the late bar. But you got rowdy at security. Don't worry, baby, let them keep their £8.50. Let's go cause chaos elsewhere. Let's go. He points over there. He wants to dare me, double dare me, I go anywhere. He points over there. He wants to dare me, double dare me, I go anywhere with him. see no one. All I want is you and a cold beer. Come over here, let me whisper Spanish in your ear. Come over here, let me whisper Spanish in your ear. Amor, cariño, dame otro besito. Amor, cariño, dame otro besito. Despacito. Amor, cariño, dame otro besito. Amor, cariño, dame otro besito. Despacito. He points over